I'm Vivian Bass, and it is truly an honor and privilege to serve on RespectAbility's boards, along with Vincenzo Piscopo, here today from Atlanta, Georgia. Vincenzo has worked at the Coca-Cola Company for the past 23 years in numerous leadership capacities, including finance, IT, and innovation. He is currently the company's Community and Stakeholder Relations Director, for which he manages correlations pertaining to disability, veterans, and Hispanic organizations, as well as the United Way and Hands On Atlanta, and also the volunteerism for the entire company. Vincenzo is the president and founding member of Disability BRG for the Coca-Cola Company, a corporate thought leader for disability insights, which advocates for a winning and inclusive culture. This innovative entity ensures that inclusion is prioritized, that diversity is respected, both inside and outside the company, and that the potentials of all employees across all abilities are respected in a mutually beneficial manner. Additionally, Vincenzo is the founder of Wheels of Happiness Foundation, where he shares his vast expertise to help persons with motor disabilities in disadvantaged areas of the world. To date, the Wheels of Happiness Foundation has made a dynamic impact on the lives of hundreds of individuals in Uganda, Kenya, Colombia, and Venezuela, among others. Originally providing basic medical supplies, and now also providing wheelchairs, scholarships, and financial aid for surgeries and physical therapy. As Coca-Cola's 2005 slogan said, "Make it real," Vincenzo is here to make it real with us during his most exciting keynote address entitled Disability, Creativity, and Purpose. Please join me in proudly extending a warm welcome to our most esteemed keynote speaker and my board colleague, Vincenzo.
Was she talking about me? So, welcome everybody. It's a real pleasure for me to be here. Before I start, though, there's two things I want to get off my chest. The first one is I'm Italian. So I was born in Venezuela, and my parents are Italian. And because of that, I have a very strong accent, and I speak very fast. So I will ask everybody to please give a round of applause to our captionist, because I don't know how the heck she's going to do it. And second, poor Jennifer. I know she's trying hard with me, but she's not succeeding. She gave me some hints last time that, when you come to the Congress and to this building, you have to wear a tie, and I forgot last time. And this time she did it again, very subtly, but I know it was directed to me, and guess what? I forgot my tie again. So apologies. But I'm allergic to ties, so anyway, so I'm sorry, Jennifer. So I have been injured since 2010. So in 2010, I used to be an able-bodied, and one day I woke up in the morning to go to to get ready for work and get breakfast for my kids and all that, and I got this devastating pain in my back, herniated disc popped, pressed my spinal cord, and I became paralyzed. And since then, I have joined this amazing community of people with disability. And it has been a fascinating journey. It has been a fascinating journey that has taught me so many incredible things. A lot of teachings that I'm very proud to have. Of course, I would have wished that those learnings came better on an online class more than having a spinal cord injury. But nevertheless, those, that was a joke, by the way. But there were learnings. And there are a couple of things of those learnings that I want to share with you guys. The first one is that I have met, and those learnings have shaped who I am right now and what I'm doing right now in my personal life and in my private life, or in my business. And the first one is that I have met the most incredible individuals in the community of people with disability. And people that have shown me what the true meaning of resilience is, what the true meaning of perseverance is. I mean, people that have, when they have a goal, they don't stop until they attain it. People that no matter how many times they have been said no by society because of the stigmas and by the world that is not made for people with disabilities. Regardless of that, they fought all those barriers to attain the goals and to be successful. And, and to really be able to live in a world that was not created for us requires a lot of work, a lot of perseverance, a lot of resilience, and also it makes people with disability develop, it actually triggers that creativity muscles. Why? Because we are constantly solving problems. When you're navigating a world that was not meant for you, you are constantly looking for ways around. If I cannot go up there, but I need to go up there, and I will go up there, how many ways can I do it? And we find a way. And we're constantly finding ways to get things accomplished. And what that does, it actually helps us develop our creativity muscles. So the folks that I have met are folks that are amazing, that their brilliance, their perseverance, their resilience, their creativity, their intelligence is just out of this world. And I'm so proud of having the opportunity to meet them. And I'm not talking to people like me. I'm the black duck of the disability world. I'm talking about people like Oli and like his kids, Leo, Nick, and Steven. I'm talking about people like Ayla, like Janet, like Matan, that make me feel so humble and so proud of being part of this community. The other thing that disability has taught me is that what has done is to unleash the power of me, the power of what I can do and the power of what I'm able to do. I'm very humble, right? And I'm shy to an extent. So I don't brag a lot about me, but I'm going to brag. I'm going to brag right now, but believe me, not because I'm braggadocious, but because I'm trying to make a point, right? So, when I got my disability, something happened on me. Something happened that actually forced me to discover what my purpose in life was. And once I discovered that purpose in life, it actually energized me. It energized me in a way that allowed me to do many things that I never thought that I was able to do. And I'm going to start with the simplest. I'm playing wheelchair tennis now. And it might seem simple for you guys, but believe me, it's not. And it's not because wheelchair tennis is difficult. It's very difficult, but it's because I suck in sports. And I've always sucked in sports. Just a quick story. When I was little, when I was 10, I'm the only boy of 3. So my 2 girls, my 2 sisters, and myself. So my dad was so excited when he had his little boy. Oh my God, my boy, I'm going to play soccer with him. And so he put me in the Italian club in the team. And I was playing defense. And every time the ball would come to me, I would move to let it go because I was so scared of the ball. That's the extent of how much I suck in sports. But when I played, when I became disabled, I said, well, no, I'm going to play tennis and I'm going to show the world that I don't suck that much. Reality is that I still suck in tennis, but I'm playing tennis and I'm doing well. I worked for Coca-Cola in a very high demanding job. Before my injury, I was traveling around the world. And when I got back after my injury, 4 months after my injury, I started working. And, my manager was super nice, and he wasn't asking me to do anything that I wasn't comfortable with. But if one of my coworkers got to me, and she said, "Hey, Enzo, I have a problem, and I need to go to Dubai, but unfortunately, I have a project in Dubai, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go. Do you think you can do that project for me?" Oh, my God. You said what? You said where? Dubai? Okay. Yes, I can do that. I will do that. Those were the first words that came out of my mind. I don't know what I was thinking, but I said yes. And I did it. I went to Dubai 4 months after my injury. I got in a plane, 15 hours in an airplane by myself. I did it. And thank you. And after I did that, I said, well, if I can do Dubai, I can do anything. And I actually triggered that. My God, the power of the human being, it's amazing. And we are constantly estimating it, and we're constantly underutilizing it. So after that, I went to Japan, I went to Kenya, I went to China, I went to South America, and I haven't stopped traveling. Every single week I travel, and I accomplish things. I founded the Wheels of Happiness Foundation, and a foundation that actually helps people around the world to help people with motor disability, and I'm impressed of how much we have accomplished. There are many people that live with disability that, thanks to the Wheels of Happiness Foundation, today are living life with dignity. So I'm not doing that to brag, though, believe me. I'll tell you, the point is coming. The punchline is coming. Be attentive. But this journey has also brought a lot of, has been also very funny, have brought a lot of funny experiences to me. And at least I think that they're funny. The first one is, my restaurants stories. And I'll give you one that happened last week. Last week, my wife and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. And I took my wife to Chicago to watch Hamilton. But before we went to the play, we went out for dinner. So when we got to the place, the waitress asked my wife where I need to be seated. She didn't ask me. She asked my wife, "I'm sorry, where do we need to sit him?" And when we were ordering, they were asking my wife, "What does your husband wants to offer?" That's funny, isn't it? And then, last March, I took my family to vacation, and we went to this paradise of island in Venezuela, beautiful island. And when we got back here in the States, I was in the line of immigration, and the immigration officer asked my wife, "What do you do for work?" She didn't ask me. And then she looks at my kids. "You guys must be very proud of your mom that can sustain." Right? And you see where I'm coming with all this, right? And the funniest and the most funny story of this was in one of my business trips to Canada. I was in Canada, and we had a long day, and I was wearing a suit there. I was wearing a tie, believe it or not, Jennifer. And so my coworker and I, so we went out for dinner, and we had this very nice dinner. And then after dinner, we decided to, go back to the hotel. But I didn't want to take a taxi because I hate taking taxis. It's a pain in the neck, right? So I told my coworker, don't worry, you go to your hotel. I'm going to roll to my hotel. It's only like a few blocks, so and I need to digest that wonderful dinner that we had. So we got to a point that there was a big curve. And remember, I suck in sport, so my wheelchair skills are terrible. So there was a big curve, and I couldn't really manage it. So there were a couple of ladies coming, and I asked them, "Hey, Mom, do you guys mind give me a push through the curve so I can get it. Yeah, absolutely. Very nice ladies. And once they did that, the ladies asked me, "Sir, we just had dinner and we have this left over. Would you like to have it?" So that is the problem with stigmas, and that is the problem with labels. No matter how much the people with disability community can accomplish if we're giving them the opportunities, we're still seen as less than others. We're still seen as potential homeless people, regardless of everything that we have accomplished. That is why I'm extremely proud of the work that Respectability does. That's why, when Jennifer asked me to join this organization, I said absolutely, because stigmas are creating problems for the people with disabilities. What stigmas do is actually stops brilliance to take effect. Stops people that could be Oli, that could be Matan, that could be Isla, not be Matan, not being Isla, because not all of them are, not all of them have been discovered, right? So that's a problem with stigma, and that's why we have to fight them. And that's why I'm so proud of Respectability, because that's what we do. And of course, I have to put my ad and use my Coca-Cola hat. I'm also very proud of the Coca-Cola company, besides of allowing me to come here and paying for my ticket and all that. But also because, as you guys see in your tables, there are some Diet Coke cans that have no labels. And that's part of a campaign. And take one of those campaigns home and just save it for you, because it's only a limited production. We only produce so many of them, and that's it. And you guys are very fortunate to be ones that are getting those cans. We removed the labels of the Diet Coke can to actually have a conversation about labels. And I want to show you a video. If you guys can run the first video about this campaign. Chris? Thank you. And I'll tell you the truth, I hate labels, but some labels are, you're proud to have them. And if people with disabilities should deserve a label, should be kick-ass, right? Because people with disability kick ass. Many people with disability kick ass. And if they don't, it's because they have not given the opportunity to kick ass. And that's the only label that we deserve. So, we should push the government, we should push corporations, we should work all together to actually help remove those labels. The Coca-Cola company has a rich history of diversity and inclusion. It's a journey, believe me. I work for that company, and I'm proud of the work we do there, but there is still a lot of work to do, and we cannot lower our guard. So I'm constantly at Coca-Cola with my eyes wide open about making sure that we continue and we become loyal to that agenda of diversity and inclusion. All of us have to. We constantly have to have our guard up. So Coca-Cola, basically what they did with this campaign is setting out to create a multi-year purpose-driven platform that celebrates the brand ethos of people unapologetically living the lives they choose. This new platform inspired the brand to remove its label from a select run of cans. So you guys have one of that very select number of cans. And because labels today are tricky, as they can mean different things to different people, and there is no one-size-fits-all perspective, there are those who fight for and embrace labels as a means of connectivity, self-expression, and even protection. And there are others who reject the divisive labels that are imposed upon them by others. But while there may not be a universal truth about each label, it's a universal topic that gets everyone thinking and talking. And with more open dialogue and discussion can come better understanding of others. So that's what we're trying to do with the On Label campaign, is to actually open it for conversations. Talk about labels, talk about the labels, what we are proud, and making us comfortable talking about the labels so we know what are the labels that are causing problems, so that we know what are the labels that we should work to remove. So before I finish, I want to show the next video. Thank you. So we partner with different organizations in the African American community, the LGBTQ community, obviously the people with disability community, to develop those videos, and this is a platform that we hope it will continue. Coca-Cola has pledged to have this campaign in several parts of the country. It's actually, we have high-profile out-of-home real estate in New York City talking about this campaign so that we can have that conversation and feature those brave people, those brave voices and faces who are living their lives with unbridled confidence. And my pledge is that I will take every opportunity to teach the world that we deserve this world as much as everybody else. That's my pledge. And my second pledge is that I will peel the label of people to see what it is really inside, and based on that, act, not about the label. So my question to you is, what is your pledge? Thank you. So with that, I want to allow you guys to ask any questions.
Can you talk about the couple? Oh, I'm Dale Brown. Can you talk about the couple months after your injury? And I'd like to hear two things. One is your relations with the disability community, how you became to think of yourself positively, and secondly, your relations with Coca-Cola, how they, how you returned to work went.
So my relationship with the disability community is started obviously when I was doing my rehab, and one of my doctor was a guy that has paraplegia, and he's an amazing doctor, and so that's when I started interacting, and obviously when I was at Shepherd, everybody there had an injury and had a disability, so I started meeting a lot of amazing people, and I started becoming curious about that. And then, when I started being out in the community, funny enough, this guy that is he runs a nonprofit that does sports with kids with disability. He saw me in a concert, and he asked me to be a coach. And I told him, "Are you kidding me?" But I became a coach for those kids, and it was amazing. Poor kids. And then, the other thing that happened was that I met a priest that had a disability, and he's from Uganda. And when he got his injury back in Uganda, he didn't get any rehab, and he spent a whole year in bed because they didn't teach him how to manage his bladder, how he managed his bowel, and all that. So he spent a whole year in bed. And through the work of some foundation, he came to Shepherd, and in Shepherd, in 3 months, they got him up and going, and he returned to Uganda, and he's serving his community. And that he made me realize, oh man, a lot of people, what people with disability need is a little bit of a push. They need opportunities, and they can change the world. And that's how I started my nonprofit, and that's how I started becoming more of an advocate. Coke was amazing, I have to say it. I mean, Coke when I came back to Coke. What really helped me at Coke is that they knew me as an able body, and then they knew me as a disabled body, but they also realized that what made me an amazing and a great employee was still intact. So, I mean, so basically what they did is just give me all the tools that I needed to strive, and there were not that many things that they needed to do to allow me to strive. Because believe it or not, people with disability don't need that much. They need the opportunities. And then I think with that, that created a lot of awareness in the company. And then I landed in this job that I have right now that manages, organization with people with disabilities, and has given me that platform to be able to advocate for my community. Yes?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Vincenzo, thank you for your wonderful.
There are a couple of more questions. Can we take them? Can we?
We're tight on time.
One question. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe the woman there who's.
And Vincenzo surely will be available for
Yeah.
other people to ask you questions later in the day.
Hi. Hello, my name is Maya Miller. I'm here with Able To Nonprofit. It's in Atlanta, Georgia, so I came up yesterday, so this is great. My question is, how has been the response in finding particularly people with disabilities at Coke? So originally you spoke about how this was a situation that you were brought into. This is a disability that you once did not have, but now do have. My question is, how has it been to me, okay, let's put this down and get real. Okay, so my question is, to me, when it comes to people with disabilities, with Able To Nonprofit, we focus on the area of artists with disabilities. And our biggest issue as of yet has been finding people who are interested in being able to present themselves on stage as performing artists. As you spoke about earlier, there's a stigma behind this whole situation and people not necessarily wanting to come forward. And so with your individual nonprofit, I know Coke has Disability, which is a great organization that I've heard about. What has it been in terms of the response of people actually being able to come forward and speak up about these disabilities, whether visible or invisible?
So it is, I'm sorry, that's my timer. We're a little bit off, the two of us. So it's a journey, it's a journey, and we're working on that. I mean, I still say we still have a very low self-identification rate. But we have plans for that. As I said before, the community of people with disability, and I think that was Jennifer that said it, or actually was Oli who said it. We have to have the ownership, right? So that's why I'm working hard. I'm the president of the Disability BRG, so I'm working with the Disability BRG to actually make sure that we elevate that we give more opportunities for people with disability to come to Coke, to talk to our employees, to talk to our managers, to our senior leaders, to allow, to bring that awareness of the value that people with disability bring. But it is a journey, and we're not there yet. But I think the first step is to acknowledge it and not lose sight of that goal. Because at the end of the day, I'm a stockholder of the Coca-Cola company, and I know if that, the more that we include people with disability and of all abilities and of all, minorities, we all win, and I, as a stockholder, win as well. So. Yeah.
Thank you, Vincenzo, for your wonderfully creative and purposeful keynote and that amazing campaign. I have my Diet Coke right here. It was quite enlightening and thought-provoking presentation. So let's give Vincenzo one more round of applause. Thank you.